Hey, howdy and happy day. It's kind of not a happy day if you're a Canadian living in Canada. Canada's a disaster. It's doomed. I sound depressing, I know, but it's reality. You got to look at what's been going on there. The Trudeau government, the Prime Minister of Canada, has had three terms, but effectively the NDP, which is code for socialist, that's another party, effectively it's been their business to run the country because they've propped the government up, the Liberal government. So the Liberal government was known as slightly left, and the NDP government is known as a whole bunch left. And things have changed. I mean, in some things, the NDP is almost more right than Trudeau's Liberals because the Liberal Party has changed, not unlike what Biden and Harris have tried to do with their party with some success, but they have the Constitution to kind of hold them up, right? You get too far left, you get pulled back with the Constitution, whereas in Canada, not so much. There's a lot of things that most people aren't aware of. I think they are when they go to buy something because taxes are up. It's incredible what's going on in the country. The world has some of that too, and I understand that. But you have to deal with your own backyard. Whereas Trudeau, he says you should defend your border. He's talking to Ukraine. You have the right to defend yourself, he says to Israel. And he sends arms and so on. And then when it comes to his own country, and he's a dictator. He truly is. I mean, the new Westminster system, the old system of kings and queens, allows him to be that. And how do you fix it? I think I have a bit of a solution. We'll get to it in a minute or two. I mean, how do you solutionize? Crazy? We'll talk. But you know what? The real fear that Canadians have is that the country is disintegrated in front of them. Upwards to 50% of all Canadians want to leave, and many have. They've gone to Costa Rica, they've gone to Tennessee and Texas. I mean, immigration lawyers in the U.S. are overwhelmed with Canadians. Other countries also, Mexico even, they're saying we can't fix it, we have to go because we believe, and I've talked to many of them, and one lady just the other day, she says, we believe, my husband and I, that Trudeau will get elected again. By hook or crook, he will. It's like Venezuela, and a lot of people are comparing Canada to Venezuela. How can that be? That's not possible. Hey, it is. Guess what? August 10th, my birthday. I'm an old guy, but I'm healthy. I run. I do all these kinds of things. But I've been here a long time, so I've seen a lot of changes. I was born in 1950. And so I compare, and I try to be open-minded because I'm old and I get it, but a lot of young people are around me. A lot of young people work for me. So I try to be open-minded, and I've said to Liberals, what you have is a good thing. It must be, because you're happy. I guess you're really happy because you're taking my money, but you seem happy. Convert me, sell me. And they always get angry. And I say, well, come on, how bad can this be? How hard can this be? Convince me that your way is better. But the truth is the Liberal way is only good for those at the top. Trudeau and all of his friends. I mean, zillions of dollars. So I'm glad I'm this old. I wouldn't want to be 20 and kind of starting over again in Canada. Canada is it's a disaster. I mean, 3 terms under the Liberal rule, and they're Marxist plus on steroids, and they have scandal after scandal. They own the press, and they censor everyone, and they say you have to register with us, and if you're press, I'm not registered with them, but if you don't register with them, I don't think I'm press in the normal sense, but if you don't register with them, you can't get funding, and everybody needs funding, except me. I've never had funding. We don't sell advertising. People send us money. We send it back because I want to be able to say what I want to say. I don't want to be, one of these guys, one of these peoples that's under the Prime Minister's thumb, and most of them are. I mean, wow, it just goes on and on. Freedom of speech. It's alarming Canadians. Finally, Canadians saying, whoa, what happened here? We're not allowed to have an opinion. You're not. Under the Prime Minister's rule, you can have an opinion as long as it's his first, as long as you agree with him or he agrees with you. It's a bad thing. I mean, it's called Bill C-63. It's all about free speech and hate speech and who determines or defines what hate is. I don't like you. That's hate, I guess, and you go to jail. And they've got all kinds of sentencing packages now, right up to life imprisonment. Life imprisonment. Good thing I've moved too, because they've chased me out of my country. They have. Wow, you just can't survive. It's Hitler all over again. The only thing that's missing is violence, but now they're kind of getting close to that. They're saying we're going to put you in jail forever. Forever, okay? Immigration, legal and illegal immigration has certainly changed the world with regards to Canada. I mean, it's changed things a lot. I mean, it's led to the reduction of wages, unemployment among real Canadian people. I mean, they can't get a job anymore, and home ownership, that dream is long gone. That's now a nightmare, even paying rent. There's so many other things that you have to look at. And Trudeau now is letting people in, encouraging people to come in from the Palestine, Gaza. And all he talks about is, bad things, and with gay stuff, that's all you hear. Transgender stuff, this conversion to a different style of life, not just homosexual life, but that's part of all of this rule changing stuff. And he's got all the banks outside because they own them. They're the largest shareholder in so many of these banks. To describe that, I mean more like, pension funds and outright cash as well, certainly. This is craziness. There's no sign of anything improving, and the debt now is unsustainable. It's like they say $2 trillion. When the government says something, you can always multiply by 10 and add a whole bunch, because I don't know, they kind of lie, but they're kind of dumb. I mean, they don't get the real numbers. I mean, then you've got this carbon tax that kind of changes the world as well for everybody. And, the average Canadian, I said in a show recently, spent more on taxes last year than they did on basic amenities like shelter and food and clothing. And, if you're a family of two and your income, one income for the household, we'll call it, is $109,000, you pay $47,000 in taxes. In addition to that, of course, it goes upwards to 82% because everything you buy is with after-tax dollars, right? You go get a loaf of bread, go to a restaurant, zing, zing, you get hit again. So, upwards to 82%, and he's not done with you. He's not done with you. Leaders should sit every day in a meeting and say, how can we help our citizens? Instead, they sit every day and say, how can we hurt our citizens? How can we tax them more? And they're looking for ways, and they'll find more ways. There's still lots of damage to be done, right? And they're working at it. I mean, half of Canadians are within 50%, and this is an actual poll, 50% of all Canadians are within $200 every month of not being able to make the minimum payments on their bills. Wow. I mean, Canada's unrecognizable as to what it used to be. There's some people, some Canadians that haven't seen that yet because they don't want to. They hide and they think, I don't want to know this. And they still go to work and they still get a paycheck that is slammed, and they're still trying to be normal. Normal's gone. You got to rise up. I mean, Canada needs Trump badly as a neighbor. What if it was Harris as a neighbor? That'd be a terrible thing. I mean, Canada would be Venezuela faster. The United States, of course, would be on that as well. So it's be right. We should all be right. But what's the solution? It's a tough one because the majority of Canadians don't want this, but a lot of them are getting brainwashed thinking that it's a good thing. And so you need to go and talk to MLAs, MPs. You need to go from the bottom up. And you need to sit with these guys and say, hey, you moron, speak up. Speak up. You don't talk. You must talk. I mean, we elected you and we're losing our way of life. And you must help us. It's your job. For us to talk to Trudeau and his little circle doesn't make any sense because they don't care. They just don't care what you say. So let's have a little revolution from the bottom up with regards to elected people. I don't think they're all that dumb. I mean, some of them must have a brain, you'd think. I mean, explain to them maybe what they already know and tell them to make a difference. Yell, talk, wah. Hey, Canada, maybe I'll get over it. I know one thing. I'm getting pretty old. It's my birthday. Who knew? But I have seen all of these changes in that country, in Canada, and it's not nice. Let's go back, way back. Hey, see ya.